You're listening to episode 18 of the Fearless English podcast. Welcome to the Fearless English podcast, where it's all about helping you confidently communicate with anyone without compromising who you are. Let's get started, Fearless Learner. Hello, Fearless Learners, and welcome to this week's episode. This week, I wanted to talk about curiosity when it comes to language learning. And to help you with curiosity, I have created a table to help you expand your vocabulary and also to get you a little bit more curious when it comes to the English language. Now, when I Googled curiosity, it means having the strong desire to know or learn something. And that's why I've created this simple method to help you develop that. But let's talk about curiosity. When we learn a new word, what we tend to do is just learn the word, write it down in our notebooks. Some of you might not even write it in your notebooks. And that's it. That's the end of the journey of that word. And what I want to teach you today is go beyond just writing that one word in your notebook. Start to write it down and then expand on that using the table that I'm going to talk about now. Grab a piece of paper. So what I want you to do right now is grab a piece of paper, and if you can, pause this episode right now and grab that piece of paper and a pen. Do it, because it's all about taking action. So pause it now, and then once you have that piece of paper and a pen, you should have it now, right? Divide the page into 4 parts. Part number 1, you're going to focus on chunks, so collocations, idioms, phrasal verbs, and so on. Part 2 is any sentences related to using that specific word that you've learned. So in this example, I'm going to use coffee. So let's grab a coffee together would be a sentence, and you would add it there. Then on the third quarter of this page, you would write meaning and extra information. So some words have more than one meaning. Sometimes it's just very simple, straightforward, but sometimes the word has more than one meaning. For example, messing around. Messing around could mean to behave in a silly or playful way, or it could mean that you're cheating on your spouse. So you're spending time with other people in a sexual way. So it has 2 different meanings. So in this case, you would write those 2 meanings in that box. And then the 4th quarter, we're focusing on adding things that are like the words family, the synonyms, the antonyms of the word in this quarter, right? So you can have it the way you feel, works best for you. So don't feel like you have to stick to these 4 quarters. Maybe you want to make focus 1 on pronunciation. Remember to create something that works with you. But the idea of the 4 quadrants, it's the reason why we have 4 quarters is to help you get curious when it comes to the language. So find out what chunks, what idioms are related to the to the word that you've just learnt. Expand on the vocabulary that you've learnt. Find out how to use it in a sentence. Find out all the different types of meaning. And you can do this by using different sources of dictionaries. So one of my favorite dictionaries to use is the Longman Dictionary. I absolutely love the Longman Dictionary. And I'll put it in the show notes under this episode. If you want to know the exact website link, you can go and check out the show notes for that. I also use osdic.com, which focuses mainly on collocations. collocations I speak about a lot, in all my lessons. You can check out one of my YouTube videos that talks all about collocations. I'll also put that in the show notes so you can understand that a little bit more. I also use something called corpus, a British corpus, which is a database of words that are used frequently together. So I use the corpus, but I'm not going to explain to you how to use that because it is a little bit more complicated. For now, what I want you to do is just try to use as many different types of dictionaries as you can. And then fill out the information in all these 4 areas. Now, it's really important that when you find a word, so say let's take coffee as the example. You learn about coffee, you don't want to stop there. You want to search for coffee and find out all the different ways to use coffee in language when you're communicating. Are there any idioms that are related to that? Are there any phrasal verbs that you can use related to coffee? Are there any synonyms? And so you start to fill in more and more information in this table that I've described to you. And what this does is every time you learn a new word, you're not just learning this new word, you're learning way more than that. You're getting curious about the new word. You're starting to expand your vocabulary a lot more than if you just, stuck to one specific word that you've learnt. You go from learning one word to getting curious and, getting really curious and starting to investigate around the word and this will help you expand your vocabulary, speak a lot more naturally. And yeah, that's kind of what I want to share with you today. And if you want to see an example of this, this being created, like I've created an example on Instagram. So go ahead and go to Blackboard English and check out the example that I've created. I'm going to be creating a lot more examples so you can follow along with the examples I've created and create your own. And if you can create your own, please tag Blackboard English so I can see how you've created yours. If you've edited anything, super, super excited to see how you use this new way of taking notes. All right, Fearless Learner, thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you next week with another new episode. Bye. If you enjoyed today's lesson, then you'll love our speaking club, where we take what we learn in these lessons and put it into action. You'll get to meet other women and practice speaking English every week for an hour. All you have to do is go to www.blackboardenglish.com/cup. I'll say that again, www.blackboardenglish.com/cup. Let's work together to help you become a confident English speaker. See you in class.